close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that oh, oh, gotta get it in your head, baby. Welcome to the edge life. You're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that edge life. Oh, oh, gotta get it in your head. Welcome to the edge life.
You already know what it is. Welcome to that Edge Life, everybody. Welcome. You have made it, and we have made it, man. It's going down. I'm excited.
I am,
I'm
and I'm
excited
Carrie.
to be here. You're so silly. That's what you
And
are.
you're Philip.
That's what you are. That's
and
what
you're watching
The Edge Life. The Edge Life.
Or listening.
Yeah. If you can't tell, she is in rare form tonight. I think.
Is that rare?
Is that, well? It might be rare form. It might be rare. You actually a little excited tonight. You on 10 tonight. This is a good thing.
Okay, I'm on 10. That's because I had halo therapy yesterday. My skin is glistening. No.
And listen,
just
and,
like
and
my
people,
makeup's been on
people
since
are
like
looking
5
at you.
o'clock this morning. And
People looking at you like, what's Halo therapy? So you can't tell them without telling them. So yeah, go on and get the people a little bit.
Little shout out to a brand new business in Rome, Georgia, the Traveling Gypsies, Calvin on Broad Street. They have it's kind of like holistic health, and they got some really great therapy. Sinusitis, if you've got allergies, anything like that. It's really great for reducing the inflammation in your lungs and in your skin.
Okay.
So I have been a person who has struggled with my skin for many, many years. So, but other than that, like super awesome, super duper relaxing. And they also have a biomat.
Okay. What's a biomat?
So a biomat it's a massage.
Okay.
Basically, that is what it is, but it has amethyst crystals. So, and the massage comes through vibrations. So there's a vibration mat. You can do either just the heat, which because of the amethyst crystals, it penetrates through into your muscles deeper than regular heat does. And then the vibration mat is so cool. So you're actually getting a massage, but it's with sound. And it's very, very relaxing. And you get to pick, there's 4 different types of sound waves that you can select.
So you
depending on
you
what
going
you
all
want.
in. You going all in with
Yeah,
with the mat, with the
and we're
salt
talk
water.
about it. Well, it's not salt water, it's just salt.
The salt, yeah, that thing.
And we'll talk about it later, but like you supported me in doing these sorts of things to care for myself, hopefully those of you who are growing wiser in knowledge and years, you're realizing how important it is. You only have one self.
That's
so
right.
you have to take care of yourself. And that's anybody that knows me, it's something for probably since about 2011-ish has been of great importance. And after having been kind of dealing with some issues for about 2 years with my health, it became even more significant and more important. So
So this is right up the alley tonight, because tonight we're actually talking about marriage, right? We're talking about
That's
marriage.
what I was saying,
We're literally gonna take some
supporting
time
each other.
to
That's
talk
marriage.
about but what's the secret, right? What's the secret
Ooh, we gonna tell it
to
all.
a happy marriage? And tonight we're actually gonna tell it all. We're gonna tell it all. So listen, if you're single, this is a good one for you to tune into. If you're married and have been married for a long time, this is a good one to tune into. If you're newly married, this is a good one for you to tune into. And I'll just say this. I know for us, we've been married 22 years. Been together
22.
30. Yeah, a long time.
We were together 8 years before
we got married. Yep. So when we stop and we think about it, like there are some things that we definitely want to share with you that have
I know
been
we look too young for that. Sorry, I hated to interject there.
that have been critical in helping us to stay together, and hopefully this will be beneficial to you all. Let me just go ahead and say this also. If you are watching us live, do us a favor, go ahead and share this out. There may be some other people who need to know and understand the secret to a happy marriage. So please go ahead and share this out.
Share it on your page.
That's right.
Share it in an inbox.
That's
you
right.
can message somebody who really needs to hear it.
That's right. That's right. So it's going down. It's going down. But before we jump into it, jump into it. You've been telling us a little bit about, you know, your whole traveling gypsy kava den experience, the salt therapy, the
halo therapy,
the mat there.
Biomat.
Thank you very
with the
much.
Vibro mat.
Yeah.
So the heat and the vibration. Yeah.
And that's been working for you? You like it?
I really do. Like, you know, even if it's just nothing else, like you got to take some time for yourself, even if those aren't the things.
Yep.
You got to take time for yourself so that you can be a complete you, which kind of leads into one of the secrets of a healthy marriage is that you can't expect the other person to complete you. Like that is not your other half.
That's good. That's good.
Two halves make a whole, but there are two people, so it should be 2 + 2.
Yeah.
Not two halves. So you need to bring your whole self. You know, there's that whole concept to bring your whole self to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You best be bringing your whole self to your marriage. So you definitely cannot expect for the other person to complete you. So people will say that, oh, he completes me.
Yeah, we hear that
Be
all the
complete
time.
first. Like
Right.
we, you know, when we do marriage counseling, like if you've got issues to deal with, and we all have our own issues.
That's right.
Deal with those first. You know, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean everything will be fully resolved, but be aware of who you are, understand your whole self. That's a lot of the reasons why we do DISC assessments and premarital counseling, so people can understand themselves. And then you can't really interact or understand another person until you understand how you show up
Right.
and understand yourself.
Right. And I think that's a big piece of it, right? Being able to be self-aware, right? And being self-aware enough to know who you are, how you show up, you know, where your strengths are and where your opportunities lie, right? When you are that self-aware and you come into a marriage that way, I just believe it's extremely helpful because then you and your spouse know, you know, how to work together, how to communicate effectively. Because at the end of the day, we know this: if you cannot communicate effectively, the marriage is doomed, right? There's going to be a problem and breakdown somewhere. So we got to figure out how we do that.
And that's one of the other strengths is focusing in on the strengths. So we talk about this all the time. So we have to lend our strengths to cover the other at times, right? So how can you lend something that you don't know what it is, first of all?
Right.
So you need to understand your strengths. And you need to stay focused on the strengths of the other person. You know, not necessarily where their weaknesses are. I prefer to say opportunities.
Right.
But focus on where they're strong and help that get better. You know, we get so divided sometimes, whether it's a marriage or just, you know, with ourselves, like focusing in on where we're weak instead of really honing in where we're strong and accenting, you know, the positives. So, and that's so important. Like, stay focused on the positive stuff. That doesn't mean that you're like completely blind to those things that aren't that great.
Right.
It just means that I have a full appreciation for your strengths. I mean, we know where each other is weak.
Right.
But the more I promote that or the more I focus in on that, again, that's what's going to come back to me.
Come back to you. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to see all the time.
Yeah.
Like if I condition myself and say, today I'm going to see 1,000 red things. I'm going to see 1,000 red things. I'm going to see 1,000 red things.
Absolutely.
Like red is going to be so blatant to me, just something that simple. But if all I do is focus on the negatives or the weaknesses of my spouse, and I just keep rehearsing those over and over again, that's all I'm ever going to find.
That's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to see. And I like what you were saying earlier, you know, being able to focus on those things that individual is doing awesome, doing well, you know what I mean? Instead of looking at the fact that, you know what, and I know you do this for me a lot, you know, hey, you got all those clothes over there, you know.
I have not said anything about those clothes. See, he already knows. Like, he knows me, so he knows he didn't fix it. But he does know that it bothers me, you know? But I have, after 30 years, like, what's the point? Why should I focus on the pile of clothes? He still lives like a college student, you know? Y'all know what I'm talking about when you get the pile and you got to check certain clothes in the pile. Do a,
The
I
sniff
wash his
test?
clothes,
Oh,
y'all.
wow.
Are you
Oh,
doing the
wow.
sniff test?
Oh,
I'm just wondering why they're over there. Are you doing the sniff test or you just don't want to put them away?
just don't want to put them away.
Okay. All right. I'm just checking because I'm your wife and I'm responsible for how you smell because I do the laundry most of the time. And if you
that's
become like
hilarious.
this stinky kid
No, I
in a
can't-
meeting,
you can't be the
like
stinky
that,
kid in the meeting.
that's, that comes back on me. Then I
Yeah,
look weak in that area.
You
and
can't be
I
the
put
stinky.
extra Gain
Yeah.
fabric softener in there so we smell good. We like scratch and sniff.
You gotta be.
I put so much fabric softener. We like scratch and
You
sniff,
gotta
y'all. And
be-
we're
you gotta-
Christmas today. Look at that.
We are. We kind of
Hey,
like
have
the
a
red.
holly jolly. It's
the red
Christmas
thing
in
green.
August.
I told y'all.
Sorry, y'all.
This
Distracted.
this whole kava thing, salt therapy thing, got her on 100. Listen, you need to go down to the Traveling Gypsy and get you some of what she got, because she's.
I didn't get anything today, but yesterday I had my salt therapy.
Yeah, and it's
I
working.
was salty.
It's working.
Yeah.
She came back and she was very salty.
I was salty.
It was like you had
want
to
to
be.
taste?
Yeah. she was for real salty.
Yeah, I did ask him if he wanted to lick my arm and taste it. We're
Y'all-
married.
Yeah,
He can-
y'all see.
we can. He can
22
do that,
years.
and that brings up another point. So
All
let
right,
me.
let's talk
we
about it.
digress. Do things that are fun.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this numerous times as we've gotten together on podcasts, and you can go back and find us on YouTube and look at some of our other podcasts. But having fun together is
You gotta
so
do
very
that.
important. And even like stretching yourself, you know, to try new things. Like maybe it's something you don't really like, or maybe it's something that I don't really prefer.
Yeah.
But trying those because your spouse wants to, or both of you all trying something completely new
Completely
and maybe
new.
a little bit of a stretch
Yeah.
together. So I have to tell, we had a fun night and our children were stalking us. But the funny part, the awesome part was that we were gonna go to one place to eat, and it was closed.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to find another place to eat. And I always tease him because I like Thai food. I love green curry, especially, but any kind of curry, but green especially. And he doesn't eat Thai food.
That's not my favorite. That's not my
So
favorite.
the restaurant was shut down, and he was like, well, why don't we just go do Thai?
Mm-hmm.
And you ended up,
I found something that I like.
You were
know
like,
what I'm
I
saying?
like it. I like
found
it.
something I like.
so we found, again, we had a good time. We had a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
It made me feel really affirmed because you were willing to do something that, like try to go find
Yeah.
something to eat at a place that you weren't sure you could find anything to eat
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
And that was awesome. But, just having fun. Like, don't forget the fun. Like, what is it with you date and have fun and then you get married and you sit on the couch
then
in
you-
sweatpants
and
and,
do
you
nothing.
just get fat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what? That's
Yeah.
not what marriage is supposed to be like.
Mm-mm.
Like, I think the real fun it should happen after the vows.
I agree with you, and I think when you go out and have fun, it enables you to do the things that we talk about in the vows. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking about
Or the things we don't talk about, but we infer in the vows.
Exactly, right? We talk about, how do you live happily ever after? And so many people are so focused in on the wedding day. The wedding day.
Oh my
The wedding
gosh.
day.
And we tell them all the time.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, the wedding day is cool, you know what I'm saying? But you got to be able to live the marriage right
After
after
that.
the wedding day. And part of living the marriage after the wedding day is being able to actually have fun together. Like this weekend, we going out on the day. Y'all, we went to a movie, saw Top Gun.
We ate. We hung out with friends
Man,
till 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
and our kids are like, where
and
have
that's
you
late for
been
us,
for
y'all.
5 hours? We don't do that.
Right?
And then this man, we get ready to go to bed. This man talking about, let's do breakfast in the morning.
Yeah, and then we got up the
was like,
next
what?
morning and went to breakfast.
So we got up the next morning. We had a more than a 12-hour
Yeah.
with the sleep in between date, which was super awesome.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. And again, especially now that our kids are getting older,
Right.
it's you got to continue to do those kinds of things. And it was funny to what you said. They were literally stalking us, y'all,
Where are
on the
you?
little app. Like, they're like, well, you were at one place for 5 hours or something Zoe said, right?
Yeah.
But again,
But it makes us better for each other.
absolutely.
And it makes us better even for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you spoke about trying new experiences, which I think is a neat
Man.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to find things that you haven't done before and experiencing those things together. Going on the Ferris wheel that goes around even when you're afraid of heights, going to Thai, just going and experiencing life
We
together.
went to Hawaii.
Going to Hawaii, you know what I mean?
Just bucket. It doesn't have to be even big things like
No,
that.
no.
Sometimes it'll be like, hey, do you want to go to the park and take a walk?
Yeah.
We haven't been in a while, but bike riding was something that we had taken up kind of together.
Yep.
And so finding those things where you can enjoy each other and enjoy that too.
Yeah, yeah. So while we're talking about some things that we do to just live happily ever after and enjoy the marriage, in the comments box, go ahead and just what do you and your spouse do? Like what are things that you all do to focus in on your marriage and to make sure that you are literally loving each other as you all go forward in this thing? Because here's the thing. This is what I've realized. Life is hard.
It's like a box of chocolates.
See, there you go. But life,
You just hope you don't get one after someone's tested out all the flavors,
right?
Poke the holes in all the bottom.
All that, you know what I'm saying? But life is hard.
Yeah.
So because life is hard, you don't want your marriage to bring extra complications to it.
Absolutely, and it is hard. But the other part of it is life is beautiful. There's so much beauty in life, and the sad part about it is most of us don't ever really truly immerse ourselves in the beauty.
True.
Because we ignore the small things, and it's really in the small things that we find the beauty. And we get so focused on making a living that we forget that really our making a living is for us to make a life together.
Make a life, right?
And that's super, super important. And one of the things is we share another tip. But yeah, and please, y'all, definitely give us what it is that you do to keep your marriage fresh. What are some fun things that you all enjoy together? But one of the things that we hear a lot of people say is that they've fallen out of love, or I just don't love them anymore, or whatever. Well, there's a choice. We always tell them that love is a choice. Well, so is attraction, because let's just face it. It is psychology. The more someone becomes comes common to you, your body has desensitizes. And so it's important for, just like we said, today I'm going to see 1,000 red things, for me to say to myself, and it's not, not lying. I'm so attracted to my spouse. Like, keep that alive, and to focus on the things that you are really attracted to about your spouse, and remind yourself, what is it that attracted me? Sometimes when we are counseling marriages in crisis, we'll get them to smile and laugh and talk by reminiscing about what attracted you all to each other.
That's right.
And so keep that in your mind all the time. Like, think about what you're attracted to. Be like, he's always had some big old sexy arms, and I just want him to, hug me with those big old anaconda-sized arms, or whatever it might be about your spouse that you just are super attracted to. Keep that at the forefront. I mean, it's a choice. I mean, you choose. You got to choose, and I promise you, the other options out there in the world, they're like green light shining on brown grass. So if you think you're going to have it any different, these things, they don't change. So employ these tips, these secrets, and make it work for you. Marriage is work.
Marriage, and that was the other piece that I was actually getting ready to bring up. Marriage is work, and you have to be able and willing to work in the marriage, right? You talk about, speaking to your spouse and being able to share, what I'm saying, and talk spicy, if you will. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that in the marriage. Remind your spouse of why you love them. Remind your spouse of why they're so fine, right? Do those kinds of things, right? It does make them smile. We got to make sure that we continue to do those things. I think it was one of the other podcasts that we did. You spoke and you said, you know what? If we are not doing those things, you got to be careful.
Somebody else
because
might
somebody
be.
else might be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're giving your spouse that attention, right?
Yeah.
You're literally letting like I don't want you to leave the house and not know how much I love you, how much I adore you, how amazing. Like I want you to know those kinds of things, not just to tell you, but because that's how I really feel, right?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're able to tell, your spouse those kinds of things, because at the end of the day, they need that sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
And that kind of combines like two of the other secrets. One is just being kind, like kind words of affirmation. Doing things, again, we talked about the other one likes and maybe you don't. And then also just the whole idea of making sure your spouse is appreciated, again, because just like attraction, we begin to take for granted.
Yes.
We get desensitized to the things that our spouse does. And that too is why it's important sometimes to just, have a self-care moment for yourself. So you do realize, how much you appreciate that person. And I think, for our marriage, there were a lot of moments like that. If it's too much, sometimes it becomes very overwhelming, with you traveling and whatnot. But, you can really see, really think about, okay, well, if he or she wasn't here, like what would really be the difference? And I promise, like, there are some big things that your spouse contributes that you may not realize because you just take for granted that they're there.
Right.
And they're potentially not always going to be able to be there. So let them know how appreciated they are. Say that all the time. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, highlight the positives. Don't focus in on where you all have an opportunity to do better, or your spouse has an opportunity to do better. Focus in on where they're strong already and affirm that, because the things you affirm are the things that you will receive in return.
And I like what you said, again, making sure that you are affirming your spouse, right? And lifting them up as opposed to tearing them down. Because the truth of the matter, especially when we're talking about marriage, because people are focused on the wrong thing, instead of building up the marriage, literally what they wind up doing is tearing the marriage apart. You know what I'm saying? And intentionally or unintentionally, the result is still the same, right? And I know one of the things that, you and I, we're super passionate about marriage. We're super passionate about couples being together and staying together for a long time. Like, I don't want to see couples have to struggle, go through divorce, especially over things that don't really matter. I've been doing just some counseling, and I was talking to one couple, and the challenges that they were having, I was like, this what y'all fighting over?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the things that we hear are like what? So
we like literally on the verge of divorce over it, because they ate your Fruit Loops.
Right.
Like what?
You
Like,
ate my leftovers. I was saving those for tomorrow for dinner.
Again, I'm sitting there, because from the vantage point that we're at, we can kind of step back. They're in it, and they're like, because we're in it, they're so passionate about it. But I gotta scratch my head, because I'm like, but this ain't that serious, y'all. Like you're telling me that you wanna get a divorce because they ate your leftovers, they ate your Fruit Loops, they whatever. Like for real.
And that's why it's so important to have a counselor, a coach, to help you like see things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're so close to it, that we can't make out all the details. And so we get lost in that, and we can't back up and see things for what they really are. And it's a shame that couples find themselves lost.
Yeah.
Find themselves angry, frustrated, ready to leave over things that, you want to validate feelings, certainly.
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Everybody's feeling is valid, but when you really begin to pull that thing apart, it doesn't make sense. And so, just even journaling maybe the thoughts that you have, even about your spouse, kept to your own confidential whatever, you can evaluate, like, where am I really? Do those things even like sound right, make sense? That sort of thing. So,
Right.
yeah.
Let's give people a couple things because we've just been kind of talking about them, but let's specifically give them a couple of things that they can do to make sure that they can live happily ever after, right? So one of the things that we said is your spouse is not there to complete you,
No.
right? So don't expect them to complete you. They're there to be them. You were there to be you. There are places within your marriage that you're going to be extremely strong. There are also places that we call gaps.
Well, and you'll suck the life out of your spouse if you expect for them to complete
To
you.
complete you,
because you
correct.
become overly dependent, and that's a really
That's a bad place to be in.
place to be.
That's right.
Bad place.
That's right. So don't expect your spouse to complete you, right?
Yeah.
Have fun though. Have fun. That's the second thing.
Man, have fun, have humor,
Enjoy it.
laugh, enjoy life.
Yes.
Choose to love and be attracted to your spouse. Remind yourself
Mhm.
all the time
That's number 3.
what attracted you.
And then number 4 is just laugh together.
Yeah.
like literally take
Oh my
time,
gosh, we
laugh. And I know at our household many times is Comedy Central. So we are laughing. If we're not laughing at each other and with each other, we're laughing at something that Kai's doing. If we're not laughing at something that Kai's doing, it's something the kid's doing. And now it's even Ace. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
so
grandchildren.
right.
Carson
So
and Ace.
somebody is just always doing something funny. And
find the humor in
gotta
things.
find the funny.
After you've had that stupid fight about the Fruit Loops, like laugh about it.
Right.
Yeah. Bring a box of Fruit Loops home and say, here's your own box, and put their name on it in permanent marker.
Right.
Whatever
Right.
it may be. And that leads us to the next one, which is be kind. So
Be
a
kind.
kind gesture. If you know they love Fruit Loops,
Yep.
bring them some Fruit Loops.
Yep.
Philip used to do all kinds of kind little gestures, like little small things. He would travel. He would get all the Bath and Body Works stuff from out of the Marriott.
Oh yeah.
He'd get it every day, and he'd put it in his bag, and he'd bring it back to me.
Oh, it's just a little
Little things,
Just a little
he paid
things.
for those, and
Yeah.
he brought them to me.
I was gonna make sure I got all of them too.
Get them all.
That's right. Speaking to that, like, another one is just being able to celebrate those small moments, right? Celebrate.
Yeah, like I said, little things.
It's the little things, being and it's amazing, but the little things, they really add up. You know what I'm saying? And I know personally, I think of the little things a lot. Like, hold on, I'm gonna show you something. Hold on.
He disappeared.
So my wife wrote this note to me right here. Hold on, let me see if you can see it. This is a note she wrote to me. She wrote this note to me probably, I would bet 2007. She wrote this note to me, and I've kept it since then. It's
Yeah,
kind of
because
crazy.
you were traveling at the time.
Yeah.
That's why it says see you Wednesday.
It says, thank you for being my lover, friend, and pastor. I love you. May God bless you and keep you while you're away. See you Wednesday. But it's little things like this, you know what I'm saying? That, I know for me, they mean a lot. So I hold on to little stuff. So it doesn't have to be anything major. You just celebrating these small little wins together, and celebrating these small wins, it means something, right? So it's the little things, yo. You don't got to go out and always buying the big stuff and the big house. No, sometimes it's just a little note that you can have and hold on to. And I got all kind of stuff like that just around my office that she does randomly.
It's an extension of just my, being kind and showing you that I appreciate you. And when you talk about celebrating, I tell people all the time, like, you should party every day. Like, you should find something to celebrate, and every day. I'm an extrovert. I'm looking for an excuse, to celebrate somebody every
Right.
single day.
Right.
I mean, it's just the little things, but you should celebrate even those little tiny victories, because they add up. Life is full of tiny victories, and the more we recognize them, the greater our level of gratitude and appreciation grows for those people in our lives, and just in general in God.
Yeah.
So gratitude is everything.
So check this out. For my newly married couples, my soon to be married couples, let me give you a quick little assignment. Check this out. This is what I want you to do. Starting on, you can start tonight if you want to, but I want you to get a notepad or something like that, and I want you just to start documenting and writing down small things that your spouse does throughout the day that you value and you appreciate. Just write them down. Don't share them with them yet, right? Just something small, right? You wrote me that note and I really appreciate it. You saved me the extra piece of chicken, and you're right. Whatever it is, just write those things down. And then this is what I want you to do. Give it a week. But then next week, I want you to literally sit down when you're talking with your spouse and say, hey, listen, I have a list of things, small things that you've done that I really, really appreciate. And just share with them what they did and why you appreciate and value that. And y'all, I'm telling you right now, it will be a game changer for you and for your spouse. Just write them down and be able to share with your spouse what those things are.
And just taking that a step further, when things are difficult and you're having a hard time remembering why or finding something to appreciate, because we're human beings, go back to those because they are a gentle reminder of why you are in love with this person, why you entered the covenant of marriage with this individual.
Yeah.
They are a good reminder.
Yeah. I love doing those kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? To be able to show the appreciation, which is a bonus for you all, right?
Yeah.
Being able to appreciate your spouse and doing things like that, right?
And finally, like as we close out today, I think the number one thing for you to always remember is that change is inevitable, and
Truth.
you have to accept that.
Yep.
There are physical parts of our bodies that are not going to look like they did when we were 30 years ago. Not you, me.
Oh, my bad.
And you have to just learn to accept that with life comes change. And you know what? Honestly, to embrace it. And I think that comes with maturation, the ability to embrace and accept the changes in life, the changes in your relationship. Because if you don't accept it, when big changes happen, like, for example, we see this a lot, when the children leave.
Yeah, that's a big one.
You have nothing in common. If you haven't done these other, I believe, 7 things that we shared with you tonight, you don't accept change, you're like, who is this person and why are they sleeping in my bed?
Right. Right.
So just accept the fact that life has changes, roll with it, embrace it, and have fun. In the change. Find a little bit of humor in the change. We were talking about the dog.
Yes. And y'all did not see the dog.
Well, the dog is in here, but she busts in every time we have a podcast. I don't get it. But anyways, the dog is 7 years old in human years, going on 8, which would make her 49. So Philip was sitting here talking about, one night in bed, he was talking about how doggone old the dog is and how she's senile, she can't hear, she can't see. And I said, babe, the dog is 49. And he said, yeah, she's so old. I said, babe, the dog is like close to our age. He was like, the dog ain't old.
Yeah, she's not
like,
old no more.
Well, dog years are different than people years. Yeah, like times 7. Babe, the dog is about our age.
Yeah. That was a tough pill to swallow right there, y'all.
Yeah.
And it was at that time that I went back to the gym. Real talk, man.
So embrace change. It's inevitable to happen, and roll with it and have fun as life changes and evolves.
So let me ask you this before we get out of here. Thinking about a newly married couple, or what is like the one masterpiece that you would share with them as it relates to keeping your marriage happy? Like if they had one thing that you're like, you need to make sure you know this, like what would you say to them?
The one thing?
The one thing.
That's it's like a toss up for me, but the one thing for me is enjoy life together.
Yeah. I like that.
Enjoy it together to the full. Press down, shaken together, and it still will be overflowing. So whatever that looks like for you as a couple, enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. For me, I think it would be to laugh a whole lot.
That's a part of mine.
Right?
Yeah.
To laugh a whole lot. And don't
one thing.
To laugh a whole lot, not take each other so seriously. You see how I just did that?
I like it. See, that's what I was trying to get you to do. I like it. He's
not
so smart.
take
That's
each
one of
other
the things
so
that attracted me.
seriously, right? So laugh a whole lot, not take each other so seriously. Do not try to make them you.
Let your spouse be their own person.
Them. Yeah. Let them be them, and that's okay. So
Yeah.
so that's what I would.
If
what
you
I would
wanted
say.
to marry you should have just stayed by yourself.
And
But you didn't.
You didn't. You
So-
you went ahead and did what you needed to do and married them and
You
all
did
that
what you
good
did.
Stuff.
You made your bed. No, I'm not lying in it.
That's right. That's right.
And enjoy it.
Well, listen, I'm going to say this. We love marriages. We love you all, and we want you all to continue to focus in on your marriage, right? Because at the end of the day, you chose to get in there now. You chose to get in there. And I'm just going to say this. Choose to stay in there.
That's
Choose
right.
to
Choose
work and do the things that you need to make sure that you can stay in there, because you can live happily ever after, even after the wedding day. It could be, it can still be good. I know we 22 in and it gets better every single day, y'all. It's good. It's good. It's good. So with that being said, man, we appreciate y'all. We will see y'all next week. So make sure y'all stay locked in. Make sure y'all holler at us. Make sure y'all,
Keep coming back to the page for an update about when you'll see us.
There it
next
is.
week.
There it is. There it is. Edge Life, y'all. We out.
Edge life, you're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that edge life. Oh, gotta get it in your head, baby. Welcome to the edge life. You're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that edge life. Oh.